Ashwini ma'am, you can start.
Yes, sir. Okay. To provide information for
तो बंद कर
grading.
देते हैं सुसु करने के जाने के लिए।
Sir, you unmute everyone. I'll mute my.
पहले मन में करा
Unmute yourself, ma'am.
Yes. To provide information for grading, reporting to parent, and promoting students. So we were discussing like a student is weak in one particular subject. We have taken some remedial classes. We have encouraged him. We have motivated him in all means. But still, if the child is not growing or developing his skills, should we inform to the parent or not?
Yeah, we have to inform.
We have to inform so that even in that case, if the child is not improving after our efforts also, it is the thing that even parents' support is required for us to develop the child's knowledge and skill. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that point is so important. So after grading, after reporting to the parent, with the support of parent, we can see some achievement or how to success in the child's knowledge and skills. The next point is to collect information for effective educational and occasional counseling. Can anyone tell what is this point?
We can do the, excuse ma'am, good evening, ma'am. We
Yes,
can do
ma'am.
the counseling of the students in which subject they have to improve and all that. And vocational education means what kind of skill they can develop and what kind of job can they can go about. So if they are good in certain things, we can tell them that information can be given to them. So it is
Yes,
all
ma'am.
about their counseling, where they are lagging and where they are good and all that. Yeah.
Yes, you're exactly right, ma'am. So here we are going to see where the child is lagging, in which subject is lagging, and we are going to collect information from other teachers also, like why he is lagging and why he is weak, what is his how to say, what is his personal problem or something like that. And we are going to counsel the child, and we are going to give some time or developmental process for the child by giving counseling. Next one, sir. Here comes the scope of assessment. Here, scope of assessment is it identifies people's strength or weakness. Am I right, dear teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and effectiveness of appraisal, development of attitude, interest, capability, creativity, originality, knowledge, and skills, etc. These are all the few scopes where we can assess child and we can identify. And the next one is provides baseline for guidance and counseling. Without assessing a child, can we identify where the child is lagging or where the child is weak, why the child is like that?
No, ma'am.
No, it is not possible. So after giving some basic guidelines and counseling, again we are going to assess the child. And next one, placement and promotions in job. In professional things, the scope of assessment is to give some placement or promotions in the job. Next slide, sir. Here comes, this one is techniques of assessment. Here the techniques of assessment is different assessment techniques are used by teachers to know all the changes that take place in the student as a result of teaching. The few techniques are like observation, case study, interview, anecdotal record, and cumulative records, which we maintain in the class. Next one, sir. Now, I want you teachers to do self-assessment for yourself. It's the task, small activity or task given for you in this session. You are going to assess yourself how you are a good teacher. You can share your answers by unmuting yourself, or else you can share your answers in the feedback. Sorry, in the chat box. See here, assessment means it is going to be the progress, goal, measure, analysis, plan, audit, evaluation, and final thing is going to be the result. So how you are going to do self-assessment for yourself? I'll give 2 minutes. Please come forward, think, and answer. Yes, Marina, ma'am. I think you want to share something.
Not right, ma'am. I'm still processing it.
Yes, ma'am.
First
Can
plan
you repeat
yourself.
the question, ma'am? Can you repeat the question?
As a teachers, I want them to assess themselves. That is self-assessing of their own good teaching.
Using all these points that are given in the
No,
on the
like, do
screen.
you want themselves to rate something like, as a teacher, how good you are?
They
Rate
want, no,
on
no, sir,
scale of
not
10 or
rating.
something?
They are going to share some points with us as a good
What
teachers.
type of points, ma'am? Like the points that are
Like
given on the
planning.
screen.
First, we have to plan ourselves
Yes, ma'am.
before
You're
getting
right.
into the class.
Yes. And to achieve a goal, first we have to analyze where we are, then we have to plan. Yes, you're right, Rajeshwari, ma'am.
First, we need to, as ma'am said, first we
Yes,
need
ma'am.
to, prepare for our lessons. Then which strategy we are going to use, so that in our lesson plan, that differentiated instruction should be there. That is, whatever strategy we are using, that strategy must be applicable even to the progressive learners in the class,
Okay.
so that the child can understand the concept. And when we are doing the assessment, we come to know where the child is lagging and what other strategies we can use, or we can what other measures we can take to improve their thing.
Okay, Gayatri ma'am, thanks for your answer. And Jayashree ma'am has said, like, first plan our goal, analyze, measure, evaluate, and we get result. Yes, you're right, ma'am. Any other answers,
Yeah, ma'am.
my dear teachers? Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. First, we have to set a goal. First, I have to set a goal where I have to be. Then, to that goal, I have to work in progress. I have to work myself, and I have to where I am in progress. I have to work more, or I'm still lagging behind. Like that, I have to measure it. What I'm doing it. Then I have to analyze it. What we are doing it, and then according to that, we have to evaluate. Where we are, like that we have to evaluate, and then we'll see the progress in the form of result, ma'am.
Yes, you're
Ashwini, ma'am,
exactly right, ma'am. Yes,
just
sir.
to put my point further, I think I am about to be just an average good teacher, I should say. I'm not completely a good teacher when it comes to assessment, because I have lots of portion to cover. So what I do is, at times, though I conduct assessment, though I get to know a child hasn't, one or two children haven't understood the concepts very well, I don't reteach, or I don't do personal this thing, because I lack time. There are no remediation classes also in my school. So I think I am just about to be an average good teacher. What do you say?
So
Can you
this is
call me a good
self-assessment.
teacher?
This is self-assessment, sir. We are not supposed to assess anyone else here. This is only self-assessment.
This is only self-assessment, but this is what I feel, as your question was assess
Okay,
yourself.
then I can't say whether you are a good teacher or not.
No, but you're
So
a
then you
trainer
have to
here. I
improve
would like to
yourself
know
as a
from you.
teacher. Use an acronym
And-
like SMART. We should be specific. What is our goal? We should be specific and measurable. Measurable, how long we are going to take to implement that. Then attainable, relevant, and time bound. With this, if we follow, definitely we can achieve our goal. I feel so.
Ma'am, for example, if I talk through an example covering these points, I would like to say that my goal, since I'm a kindergarten teacher, I would like to take an example from there only. My
Yes,
goal
ma'am.
would be that my children should be able to recognize all the alphabets even without the help of pictures. Like if A is
Yes.
written, then the apple should not be there. They should be able to recognize the alphabet without the picture. So this is my goal right now. I go to class. When I go to class, I start teaching. When I start teaching, I first teach them through the use of pictures, and then slowly I remove the pictures and then start dodging them. For example, I point out towards A and ask them, what is this alphabet? Then the child tells me this is A. Then afterwards, I point out to Q. Then I ask him, what is this alphabet without the picture? Then that child says Q. So in this way, I'm able to understand, and then I keep dodging that child. Each child, I give them 5 to 6 alphabets. I dodge them with those alphabets. Then through that, I'm able to judge the progress of the child. That has he learned the alphabets? Is he able to recognize the alphabets without the pictures also or not? This is the way I judge the progress. Then I'm able to measure also. I'm able to see, okay, I'm able to analyze, okay, if this child is not being able to recognize an alphabet, what is the reason? Even after teaching and again, even after teaching again and again, what is the reason that this child is not being able to recognize a particular alphabet? Maybe he's not being able to keep P in his mind, or maybe he's not able to this thing recognize B. There are children who show this sort of sort of behavior also, even after
Yes,
showing them
ma'am.
alphabets many times, also they're not able to recognize. So that's how I analyze where the problem is. Then after that, I start planning how to overcome this problem, how to make them recognize the alphabets. And after that, I give them an evaluation test. Then I start evaluating how good they are at recognition, or how bad they are at recognition. After that, I give them an assessment test, and then the result comes out. We are able to judge how far the child has progressed.
Wonderful. Thank you for your answer, Marina ma'am. Yes, here by identifying areas for improvement in myself, peer assessment and parent assessment will help us to progress the child. Yes. Next slide, sir. Here we are into the end of our session. Do you have any questions or feedback, my dear teachers?
Dear educators, you can come forward and give your, like feedback to the resource person. At the same time, you can also ask if you have any doubts with regard to today's topic. Should be helping you with your doubts. We wish to hear from you.
Ma'am, it was an informative session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
We could know so much about the techniques and all about assessment.
Feedback from sir. Someone messaged feedback from.
We don't have a feedback form because there is no point. Feedback form is wherein you just mark the resource person, but we would like to actually listen from our participants. What is that you have understood? What is that you want more? What are the sessions that you want in future? Okay. So this way we want the actual feedback rather than a rating scale. That's the reason we are not going with a Google form. This way we are unique. A Google form cannot give a sense of, like fulfillment than a person's actual feedback. Everyone will open the form, give yes, 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 no, 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 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, done. We don't want that. We want to hear from you.
So one question I'm having, as
Yes.
ma'am said, assessing the whole institution, like when a teacher is committing mistake, I mean, if she is not proper in that, then the whole group will be evaluated. No, for example, I'm asking, even though the teacher is putting effort, and if the child is not up to the level, then it is not the fault of the child, no sir. Then at that time, what we can do?
Can you be more specific? I didn't get your question, ma'am.
Sir, a ma'am told no, like evaluating the whole institution, like if a child is failed or something, then it is the mistake of the teacher, then the whole group would be questioned
Yes,
like that.
yes, yes.
My question is, even suppose the teacher is giving her full effort, but still the child is not capable to do or what, means it is not the fault of the teacher, right?
No, like, it's a very good question. I would love to answer this. Ashwini ma'am, would you love to, I mean, would you want,
No,
I
no,
mean,
sir, you go ahead. You
answer?
go ahead, sir.
Yes. So the thing is that, ma'am, if the teacher is really effective, the teacher is also expected to be smart. In the initial days, when the teacher identified that the child is having gaps of information or gaps of knowledge in certain areas, she needs to immediately give remediation. There is no point in, rubbing the child towards the stone with what she wants him to learn. For example, a child has to add 4-digit number, but the child is not even able to add 2-digit numbers and 3 digits number. Isn't it? When the teacher has identified this, first she has to take the child to that level, make him understand that concept, see to it that the basics and fundamentals which are needed for him to reach out to this level are achieved. Then only we can see at the end of the day, whether it is teaching or remedial teaching, you are designated to do that. You have chosen this profession. So you cannot say, I don't know those things. Like, you should know how to tackle a student. Okay, if a student is unable to catch what you are, like unable to grasp what you are teaching him or her. That's how it is. Whether
So
it
I
might
would
be
like
any.
to add something over
Thank
here.
you, sir.
So I would like to add something over here. Like
Yes,
ma'am
please.
said, there are children whom we teach, but yet they are not able to grasp. Sometimes it is because they're anemic also, sir. If they may have health problems also, it may be that they don't have proper iron, they have iron deficiency. That's why they're not able to grasp or keep things in their mind. I am coming across such children in my class too.
So that's what, when you identify constantly that a child is not even reaching the minimum levels of learning, immediately you have to suggest the psychometric analysis for the child. Okay. After that, after the psychometric analysis, if the counselor really says that there is some physical examination needed as to check the deficiencies and all, then immediately that problem has to be addressed. But initial identification and judgment is of the teacher, isn't it? The teacher has to do first assessment, second assessment, third assessment. Immediately she has to identify. Yeah. So I agree with what Marina ma'am said. There will be cases where our deficiencies are also prevailing. Yes, Ashwini ma'am.
In that case, we have to call and talk to the parent. We have to give counseling to the child also, as well as to the parent also, to make the child strong.
Obviously, when you are sending a child for a psychometric analysis, definitely you will be informing the parent and you will be sending. Yeah. So anyone else who would like to add points or who would like to ask any question that you have got? No one? Is anyone willing to give a feedback? Marina ma'am, what's your feedback about today's session?
So first of all, this I joined late, but the thing was that I was a little busy today. But I got to learn a lot about assessment today. Especially, I like this question: assess yourself as a teacher. So that was a very good question. It really got people thinking. And when ma'am asked me that, what do you want to say? I was still thinking what to say. So that's one good thing. Another thing is that there was one teacher asked that sometimes you're putting full effort and the children are not able to grasp. These are practical problems. These are like theoretically things are different, but when you are working on the at the ground level, that time you face many difficulties. For example, they are not able to grasp or they're not interested, and there are many other things. There is lack of time. So there are many issues that we are facing. But yes, when we can't understand whom to talk to, who to share our problems with. But when we come onto this platform over here with you all, we are able to ask you questions. We are able to gain knowledge. We are able to get advice from you all. So all these things help us to improve our teaching. So that is why you must have noticed that I join every session. I try to at least join every session that you all hold, because I like joining interactive sessions. That's the point. And especially when I'm getting a solution to my problems, I'll definitely join. So I thank you all, both of you all very much. And I thank the other participants also who have come up with wonderful ideas and suggestions on how to deal with our teaching profession. Thank you so much.
Thank you
you
so
so
much for your
much.
feedback, ma'am.
Marina ma'am. Yes. So with,
One thing. Hello. Yeah. Students who are very good in orals, but when we conduct the dictations, they are not able to write in the paper. So how to handle those kind of children?
which grade is that, ma'am?
First standard, sir.
First standard.
When I ask
Ashwini
the
ma'am, would you like
spellings
to
of
address?
Yes, ma'am. First, we have to concentrate on the phonic sound so that when, am I right, sir?
Of course, no doubt about it.
When they are clear with the phonic sounds, they can write from day one when we dictate by themselves. There is no doubt in that. First, as a teachers, if for grade 1, we can't concentrate on phonic sound. If not so, we can ask the help of the parents, or we can suggest some videos or something for the child to develop their knowledge in phonics, and then we can make the child to write.
Ma'am, I would like to say one thing over here.
Yes, ma'am.
We can
This
also
is what
break
I
the
told
word.
the parents also. This is what the same thing I told the parents also. Is there any other way to make the child? Yeah, ma'am, please.
Break the
First,
words,
you
ma'am.
can-
We can break the words. We can break the big words. For example, beautiful. You can say beau. Then the child writes beau, then T, then full. Beautiful. In this way, you can break the words also. The child will be able to write first phonetics, and then you start breaking the words also.
Yes, ma'am. If the child doesn't know the phonic sounds, that is what.
Let me just
Try
add
to
on to
analyze.
this. Lokasundari ma'am, like there is no
Yes, sir.
chance that children may not know phonics. If the child doesn't know phonics, then you have to urge the parents as to put the child into a phonics class. Or else if you have any remediation with phonics in your school, immediately you have to put the child into that remediation class. Because now phonics is not a course other than curriculum of the school. Now phonics is part of the school curriculum. In every textbook, we have phonics these days. If you look into Oxford textbooks, if you look into Cambridge textbooks, they are giving phonic, at the end of the lesson, they are giving phonic related, questions and solutions for that. So immediately you have to urge the parents as to give some remediation with regard to phonics, so that the child will learn how to decode and encode the sounds. If the child learns how to decode and encode the sounds, then definitely, no doubt, within 6 months, the child will cope up with writing and dictation as well.
Okay, definitely we'll do it in the class, sir.
Anything else, participants? So I suppose we have come to an end of the session. Lots of appreciations and accolades to Mrs. Ashwini Srinivasan, the resource person of the day, for taking up a wonderful, wonderful session, that is a assessment. And to my wonder, in the first half we had completely 100 participants today, and today in the second half also we had 100 till 5 minutes before, and now it is 95. By this we can understand how important and how curious are educators all over the country to know and grasp more knowledge about assessments. We really appreciate Mrs. Ashwini Srinivasan for such a move wherein she was thoughtful to bring about a free session on such a topic. So we really appreciate you for that, ma'am.
Thank you
And
so much, sir. Thank you for all the participants for your valuable time, and a big thanks for Ravikant sir for the great opportunity giving me every time. Thank you so
Ma'am,
much, sir.
if you have come up Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, if you come up
Yes.
with the workshop like learning disabilities, okay, for the children with learning disabilities, it would be very great, useful for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. Within a month or two, we will definitely come up with that. Thank you for
Thank
your
you, sir.
suggestion, valuable suggestion. Yeah.
Thank
So now let us, as you all know, you have been grasping certificates. Those who will to get a certificate, I am writing a phone number here, 990-892-5730. 990-892-5730. This, like number has got a GPay, a PhonePe, and a Paytm. Those who wish to get a certificate for this webinar, you need to forward ₹50 to this particular number through GPay, PhonePe, or Paytm.
Excuse me, sir. Can you repeat your number, please?
I have written it in the chat box. Still,
Okay,
I
okay,
am
thank
saying
you.
it. 990-892-5730. Yeah, that is the number. You can do a GPay, PhonePe, or Paytm and send the screenshot of the payment to the same number along with your name that you want on the certificate. If you are
Sir, what is
particular
the
about
amount?
50 rupees, 50.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Yes. And kindly, if you are specific about Mr., Miss, Mrs. and all, kindly send your name with those addresses so that we can add to that. Otherwise, for women, you will be getting your universal address, that is Miss. Okay, if you are particular about Mrs., then you kindly let us know with your name. And within 24 hours, you will be getting your certificate. Not tonight because our IT person is working in the daytime. So tomorrow morning, they will be generating the certificate and we'll be forwarding you the printable PDF version to the same WhatsApp number from which you have sent us the screenshot. So that is all about how to get a certificate. And we have an ongoing train the trainer course, like the people who wish to become trainers like Mrs. Ashwini Srinivasan or other resource persons whom you all have seen. Like you can join for train the trainer course. It's an ongoing course. Yeah, that's how it is. Anything else, participants? Or else
So
shall we mind?
I just wanted to ask one thing. These certificates we can submit them in the school now for those 50 hours of training.
Without any doubt, because CBSE's affiliation bylaws, there is a book, you can go there and check. Affiliation bylaws says that for under 50 hours of training, 25 hours can be of any organization, registered or any third party, okay, organization which is conducting a training. So already we are called to the schools also. We have done physical sessions also from SNTTC. We are 2 ways registered. As an educational institution, we are registered. We are also registered by ISO. We also have our license. So it can be given for 25 hours of training. The other 25 hours of training should be of offline or online of CBSE. That's how it is. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else?
Someone has messaged like, sir, will your certificate be updated on Oasis portal?
No certificates are updated on Oasis portal. Oasis portal is for the school. Generally, what happens is schools maintain a file of a teacher. Whatever certificates you are getting, you have to maintain your training file. When during the time of every 5 years, there is an affiliation, or every year these days, schools have started taking SQAAF assessment. As a part of that assessment, if your principal is asking you to submit your certificate of completion of any course or such webinars, you can give a print of it. They will put it into your file. In Oasis, no certificates are uploaded. Yeah. Anything else? So I suppose that's all for today. Yeah. So meet you all in the upcoming webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
You know.
Thank you, ma'am.
Participants can leave as the session is over. We'll be having a feedback session for the resource person, so we request the participants to leave. Yeah. That was really a wonderful session. Constantly
Thank you, sir.
100 participants. I can't, like wait watching you grow like this. Wonderful. You're a born trainer.
Thank you so much, sir.
But
First, actually,
watch.
I planned like a formative and summative assessment method, sir. But then I felt, no, everyone
You
will
should
go
do
in the
that
same
also.
way.
Do that also.
That one I'll do it as a types of assessments.